Hello, this is John Claydon, Contracts, Claims and Disputes. Before we start this new short slidecast, please like, share and subscribe, pressing the little bell for later notifications. Here we're going to talk about formal writing for the contract manager. It's aimed principally at the fellow at the sharp end on site. I need at the outset to acknowledge that in parts of the slidecast I've been influenced by the book Legal English, 3rd edition 2012 by Robert Haig. For those who may be interested in more specifics that go far beyond the scope of this presentation, I recommend most strongly that the source reference be studied. It is available at Amazon. It's not cheap. Although I seek to avoid grammar in my slidecast, there are a few inevitable occasions. Sorry. So let's think about what we're trying to do. We need to help the other party understand what it is we want to say. So simply what is necessary in short, crisp sentences, easily understood by the reader. Remember that the reader may not be a native speaker. So this slidecast is aimed principally at those working at the coalface on the sites of large EPC projects and necessarily dealing with daily routine and contractual correspondence and reports. Before getting into some detail about writing contractual English, the following are a few simple key points to take away. 1. Keep it simple. 2. Use clear sentences as short as possible. Avidly avoid adverbs and abject adjectives. Always write in the third person, i.e. the engineer, the contractor, the employer, and restrict each letter to one subject. One letter, one subject. And again, although I've sought to avoid grammar, there are a few inevitable references. Special meanings. There are a number of words that have one meaning in general use, but another distinct meaning in legal matters. These include construction, which generally means erecting a building or a structure, but in legal documents means interpretation, from the root of the verb to construe. I will recall in my school days the Latin master pointing to me, shouting, "Claydon, construe." Consideration is another word which has a different meaning. The general meaning is careful thought or a fact considered and care to others. But in contracts, it means an act being a price or promise in validation of a contract. That is, it is an essential part of a valid contract. Another example is the word distress, which generally means pain or anxiety, whereas in contract and law it means the seizure of goods, usually as a security. Similarly, find, to find, in general terms means to locate or discover, whereas for our purposes, to find or a finding is a judge's final decision. Going on a little wee bit further, we have furnish, which in general terms means put furniture into a room, whereas for our purposes in contract it means to provide or submit documents. Hold is the physical sense to grip and maintain, a position perhaps, keep, detain, or arrange an event. Whereas for our purposes in contract, it's a decision on evidence or a position maintained by a party or litigant. Prefer is to like one better than another, generally, but in contract it means to bring a formal charge in a criminal case. Redemption, general use, typically the salvation for those of the Christian faith, whereas in contract it means the return or repossession of property or security on repayment. And tender means gentle, kind, perhaps painful, whereas in contract it is a formal offer to supply good or services. Thinking about dates and numbers, around the world there are several conventions for writing dates. Better not to mix them, it gets very confusing. British English demands date plus month plus year, whilst American English expects month plus date plus ST, ND, RD or TH plus comma plus year. There is a less common convention in some countries using 8 numerals: year, 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 MM, DD with no spaces. This, by the way, was very useful before the more advanced sorting capacity arrived on computers. So British examples, 12th of February 1996, 1st of December 2001, not 01 December 2001. US examples, February the 12th, 1996. Korean and Swedish example, 2021-06-02 for the 6th of June 2021. Staying with dates and numbers, for numbers the general guideline is that those of 10 and below be spelled out, but written in numbers above 11, and the exceptions. Numbers beginning sentences generally should be spelled out. Approximate numbers should be spelled out, e.g. around 50. Very large numbers should be shown with minimum zeros, e.g. 3.5 million, not 3,500, 1,000. For numerical sums, the currency symbol precedes the number, e.g. USD $5,000. But for multi-currency contracts, D above may be substituted by the use of the international 3-digit currency identifier after the numerical amount, e.g. 2750 USD or EUR, GBP, AUD, KRW, etc. The apostrophe. This little beast can pose a problem both for native and non-native speakers. The simplest rule for formal writing is that the apostrophe is only used for possession. It is never used to make a plural. It is never expected to appear as its, the informal form of it is. As I said before, one idea, one sentence. Under the theme of clarity, let no sentence contain more than one main idea. That is to say, where a sentence could include additional information about that idea, such additional information would be better expressed in a second sentence. Here is an example. XY company is headquartered in Cambridge, manufactures cosmetic products and made a record profit last year. This might be more clearly written as two sentences. XYZ company manufactures cosmetic products. Headquartered in Cambridge, it made record profits last year. There are three ideas in the first sentence, being headquarters, product, and profit. The rewrite starts in the second example with the main idea in one sentence and the additional supplementary information in the second. Sentences. The golden rule: keep it short. Retaining the essential, remove all unnecessary words. Some examples: give rise to, cause, impact upon, affect, notwithstanding the fact that, despite, although, meet with, meet. Avoid negative structures. Some examples: not unreasonable, not negligible. Avoid the passive voice where possible. The word deeming. What a gift to the owner is this word. It is an important word found in EPC contracts. Its meaning is to treat or consider something that it is not, or as having characteristics it lacks. Examples are frequently found in contracts or specifications stating that, for example, the contractor shall be deemed to have adopted the feed requirements in their entirety as having been prepared by himself. Words starting with here, there, where. Never trust a document that starts with whereas. In legal documents, there are many words of this ilk. For our practical purposes, they can be disregarded. In almost all instances, they exist by legal tradition rather than usefulness. Words ending in soever, such as whatsoever, can be similarly disregarded, finding no useful function in formal writing at our project level. As mentioned before, clarity is essential to ease understanding. To this end, say it as simply as possible. Say it so the reader will understand. Keep it short. Avoid obscure or archaic words. Use ordinary English wording, avoiding, for example, modus operandi for method or de rigueur for obligatory. The passive voice should be avoided. Exactly. This is more simply and clearly replaced by the active voice. Avoid the passive voice. Positive phrasing. It is almost always more effective to use positive phrasing. Examples: condition X will only apply if condition Y is preferable to condition X will not apply unless condition Y. The second is far clearer. Some get excited about this. It's not such a worry. A simple guideline is to avoid US and UK spelling in the same document. Extending this to the entire contract documents would enhance consistency. Perhaps a good rule might be to use UK spelling where the governing law is England and Wales, and US spelling where New York law governs, and this makes for a better fit. Where the governing law is otherwise, either US or UK should be acceptable. Letter writing. Where the contract demands a specific addressee, as FIDIC specify when to write to the employer or the engineer, follow that requirement strictly. Typically, such correspondence is addressed to a company, and hence the salutation is conventionally "Dear Sirs," perhaps marked for the attention of a titled position, e.g. for the attention of the project manager. Similarly, the expected sign-off is "Yours faithfully," UK style, or "Faithfully yours," US style. Generally, as I've said before, keep the sentences simple and easy to understand. Please feel free to add any comments or suggestions for topics in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and for notification of new topics, press the little bell to the right of the subscribe button, and remember to select